Jacqueline Harris has a Master in Social Work from Fordham University. She is the producer and talk show host of I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. She is also the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called I Have a Dream Too, Inc. I had to. Just ask me. Jacqueline is an entrepreneur, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, and visionary. She believes that all people can redefine their purpose, their place, and their possibilities through determination, persistence, and tenacity. Jacqueline has begun to crystallize her goals. Without difficulty, she continues to make plans daily to achieve all possibilities. With her supreme confidence, determination, and disregard for obstacles and other people's criticisms, she will carry out her plans. Why? I have a dream too. Jacqueline knows she can dream anything she wants to dream. That's the beauty of the human mind. Jacqueline can do anything she wants to do. That is the strength of the human will. Most importantly, Jacqueline trusts herself to test all limits. This will be Jacqueline's courage to succeed. Come join me on this journey of empowerment because you have a dream too.
Good evening and welcome to my show. I am Jacqueline Harris, the host. I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. And tonight is a very special show. Tonight I have Mr. Mike Dean here, flew in all the way from Ohio today to share his story. What if I had a father? So I want to welcome Mike Dean here with me this evening. Welcome. Welcome to New York.
Thanks for having me, Jacqueline.
Okay, great. So I thought that this would be an excellent show to share about your story.
Yes.
And how you turned it into a book. But the purpose was really to empower others that you can still be successful.
Right.
You can break out of the brokenness
Right.
in order to dream. So where did this all begin for you? Just share your story and the book and so forth.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it started when I was born. You know, it started when I grew up without my father, watching my other friends and family members share moments with their father. And every now and again, I would kind of look at my situation and say, where's my dad? So it kind of started there, and it just began to build. It began to build from there. And I started seeing I was active in sports. I was involved just in all kind of things. I wrestled, I boxed, but my dad was never there. I saw the parents coaching their sons and, hey, come on, Johnny, you got this. Come on, Nicholas. And then when it came to me, I look at the stands and I didn't see anybody. So that's
Right.
where it started.
So now, through your life as going in sports and so forth, where did that put you? Where did that place you? Where did you find the need that, there has to be something else than this?
Well, I grew up during a time where the crack epidemic really struck my community hard. And my mother fell victim to the crack epidemic. She did her best to raise us. She did her best to pay her bills, but the crack epidemic, that issue was way too strong for her to deal with by herself. And so there was times when my mother wouldn't be there for 2 or 3 days, and we had to, I'm the oldest of 5 children on my mother's side. I'm my mother's children. And so periodically, it just a lot of just different things that really, really caused us to go without.
Wow.
And it was really, really tough. I became homeless. My mother kicked me out, in fact, when I was 16 years old. So I lived on the streets. I couch surfed for about 2 years. I didn't see my mother. I didn't see my brothers or sisters. I stopped going to church, things of that nature, and ended up dropping out of school, had a baby. While I was a senior in school, my first child was being born. Got cut from the basketball team, in which I was one of the top 3 or 4 players in the school. I was making honor roll, although I was a runaway. But, yeah. And so just all those things, it was just tough for me. And once basketball, I didn't have basketball, I gave up. And then I went to the streets.
Wow. That's riveting. That really is. And so today, today you say what? Anyone who is watching, listening, you say what? Because it's an epidemic right now that there are tons of fathers, sons, and daughters that sometimes succumb to the streets, the brokenness.
Right.
And so we want to try to uplift and inspire. And tonight we do have some youth who had some experiences such that will share this story as well. But where did you come to start this writing?
Well, again, I got tired. And I got fed up with the streets. And I started once I started changing, I jumped into a program called Youth Build, which is a national organization, but they're local. I think it's about 265 programs, 73 programs throughout the United States. And there was one back in my local community. And people began to believe in me. See, growing up, people didn't believe in me and speak into my life. And so doing all that, I changed and I got a job now. I'm in an apprenticeship program. I'm a national leader. Boom, my brother get murdered.
Oh, wow.
And so one of my ways to deal with my grief was I wrote. And so I wrote that. Then I wrote an article called A Fatherless Nation back in like 2003. And then after that, a couple years later, my mother passed away. And it just kind of kept going on. And I would just write. And then I started meeting siblings. So I met brothers and sisters along the way. In fact, I just met a brother last week, a younger brother that's 25 years old. So those sorts of things pushed me to write. And I said, I'm not the only one that's dealing with this. But if I can make it, you can make it. And I became the answer to my own question.
Okay. Wow. And so the book today is called?
What If I Had a Father?
Right. It's on Amazon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, you can go to deanbooks.com and you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, even other ebook outlets. It's a powerful book.
Okay. And in addition to that, with the book, now you have a radio show that
Yes, ma'am.
centers around the book as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And so how has that been going for you?
Oh my goodness, it's been going awesome. I mean, last night, it comes on Tuesday nights. 'Cause it started, I wanted to promote my own book, and this is new to me. Like, I was trying to promote, and people wouldn't allow me to come on the radio stations because people didn't know me. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna start my own radio talk show, and we're gonna talk specifically about fatherlessness. And I invested my own money and time and energy, and just created this panel of people that we can breathe, we can come in, we can talk and share our feelings about the issue, and then talk about solution to encourage the next generation to help, because this generation, I don't want to say it still need help, but we can prevention, we can prevent others
Right.
from dealing with what we had to deal with. So
Right. So your hope is for yourself, I guess I would say that you have redefined your purpose. You're also a minister?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm a pastor. I've been pastoring for 4 years. So it's a church called Power City Church back in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm just loving my life right now. Like I'm blessed, and I know my mom is smiling. I wish she was here to see this,
Okay.
but I don't think I would have been able to write the book if she was here.
Right. You say that because?
Because some of the things are sensitive, and I don't think my mother. Some of the things I found out about my father was in my mother's journal. So after she passed away, that's when I saw it.
Right. So I want people to call in, okay? There is a phone number
Okay.
that I put out there, and that's area code 631-669-7999. If you want to talk to Mike Dean, to ask him some questions in regards to his book and how he has overcome and created a destiny for himself. And really that's what the show is about, to empower other people to be able to understand or to be inspired by the fact of you don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to.
Right.
be in the streets because you're looking for daddy, okay, looking for that connection. There are success stories, and you were one of them. And even though the ability, creating the ability to dare to dream,
Right.
I think is important because, as we know, our youth don't dream.
Right.
Now, you talked about Youth Build, and what is that really?
Well, Youth Build is a nonprofit organization. Like I shared earlier briefly, it has over 270 programs. I want to say over 140,000 graduates since 1994. In fact, Youth Build started in 1978 in Harlem, here in New York. So right now, Youth build houses for low-income communities, provide GED and other vocational opportunities, leadership development, personal development. I mean, you name it. And this is word that I kind of came up with. I don't know if it's a real word, but it's called familyness, and the environment that people made you feel at home. You were able to share. You was able to be you. It wasn't like, okay, just a program 9 to 5. You got to go home. It was people actually. When I went to court, they were there. When I didn't have no food, they were there. So finally, somebody was in my life. But that's pretty much the elevator pitch of Youth Build.
Right. And so there's one here in Deer Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the one you're affiliated with is in Ohio.
Right.
And so they're all over the country.
Yes, ma'am.
But it is a place for youth who feel sort of lost, despair,
Right.
can go to these locations.
Right.
There's no charge.
No charge.
Okay.
In fact, you get paid. I mean, most programs pay you. Most programs provide educational awards through our relationship with AmeriCorps. And so it's a wonderful program.
Okay, so you can get paid, and I think it's an opportunity to stand in a circle of courage, as I call it. And those are the people that have your back when you feel lonely, scared, depressed, all of these things that when you're trying to understand the brokenness and why daddy's not here,
Right.
the people are there to help you when necessary.
Right.
Okay, great. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my website, ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke, and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia. And it really does make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can follow us on ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. Once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters, and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com. Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters, and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that has formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Welcome back. I'm here with author Mike Dean with his new book that's out, What If I Had a Father? And he was just sharing some very powerful information about how he has been able to overcome his, what do you call it? Challenges. We're just going to use the word challenges. And we all go and we really actually all face challenges. And sometimes we don't get out of those challenges. We just say, woe is me.
Right.
And so for you, you found a place for you where you are comfortable and at peace, and you created that center of balance for yourself.
Right.
And so earlier we were talking about Youth Build, and you were gracious enough to bring some youth with you who
ma'am.
have experienced similar things, but also to share a little bit of this story. So right now we're going to share, we're going to talk with some of our Youth Build people, and welcome to the show, I Have a Dream Too, and Empowering You. And so I'm going to talk to our first young man, Femi. And you shared a little bit about your story and how you got into Youth Build. What was that for you?
Well, you know, I was getting in trouble, and I was basically running the streets, you know. I don't know what I was searching for. I know I've been listening to his story, you know. My dad wasn't around, and I think I was looking for that father figure. But I went to Youth Build. I found a program where the dynamic was different. You know, I was able to, you know, gain a vocational skill, and I had the support of like a family, you know, and you know, I did my best with that program, and I elevated. I actually became a worker. I was one of the best students, and you know, they hired me to become a worker, and then after that I went on to train students. So, you know, the Youth Build program, it stood out to me because not only do they teach us construction, it was cutting edge construction. You know, this school focuses on energy efficiency, and you know, I felt that was still in its infancy. So if I got into it now, you know, I would have room to grow. So I was just the best. And after 3 years, they made me a vocational trainer, and I've been doing that, and I found another opportunity to get into a union. You know, I always wanted to be an electrician, so right now, you know, I got the opportunity to be with the electrical union. And Youth Build basically changed my life. You know, my dad wasn't around. I remember the times when he said he was going to come. You know, I remember 6 or 7 sitting at the window. He never came, and you know, I just turned to the streets. My mom, she was there, but when she was at work, I was in the streets. I recently had a daughter in January, you know, and I'm fighting for my relationship, you know, and I'm fighting that much stronger, you know. I realize like my morals and principles and values are intact, you know. That family structure means that much more to me now, and you know, family is everything, you know, and I'm winning. I had a dream, and everything's coming true. So life is good right now, you know, thanks to Youth Bill, and Youth Bill, like he said, it's a national program, but I'm locally in Long Island, so Youth Bill Long Island changed my life.
Right, and earlier you talked about goals.
Yes.
You wrote goals 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that, because that's important.
Right. So I'm a vocational trainer, and I also go to school part-time at night. And I just started this class, and my wife, she said, "Do you got a notebook?" So I went looking for a notebook, so I grabbed the old notebook. So I was sitting in class, and I was scrolling through the notebook, and I saw that in 2011, I had wrote some goals down. So I went over the goals, CDL, electrical union, and I'm sitting in this apprenticeship class, and I'm like, I did everything I said I was going to do. So that was an amazing feeling, just looking at a list of the goals that I wrote down previously 4 years ago, and I was just like, wow, things is coming true, and everything is mapping out. You know, I got a long-term goal, and you know, I'm taking everything one day at a time, one step at a time, and it just feels good to be winning.
And I guess you could say, as Mike Dean had also stated too, is that somebody believed in you, and validated who you were or who you are as a person, as an individual, and not a lost child because you didn't have a father.
Correct.
And because of that validation, you sit here this evening to be able to talk about your story and be able to be proud of it.
Yeah.
Okay? And almost to say, you know, hey, Dad, I did it. Without. And so I'm thankful that you were able to share your story, and you found your place.
Definitely.
Okay? And you continue to dream, and some of those dreams are coming true. So thank you, Femi.
You're welcome.
We also have Nala. Nala, how are you?
I'm great. And
Great,
yourself?
great, great. And you're also from Youth Build, and you want to share a little bit about your story?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my father walked out of my life when I was 2 years old. I didn't have a father figure. I've always wanted my father to be by my side. Every time I would look or ask my mom, she said she didn't know where he was found, where he was. To this day, I am searching for him. I know who he is, where he's located. Have I tried to get contact with him? I have tried numerous times, but I haven't got a response. Without my father, I thought that maybe I wasn't able to complete everything. I lost hope. I felt like there was nothing there. There was no trust. I had problems with my family. I started hanging out with the wrong people. I made some wrong choices. Then after a while, I met someone that never gave up on me and told me to go to the right path, and I found Youth Build. Youth Build made me become a better person. I'm finally getting my diploma. I want to be a doctor, and I'm following my dreams, and I'm going to continue to keep going on to what I want to be and to be successful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And again, it goes back to that validation. I think some of that is the key, as we talked about, Mike, in terms of the validation as you as a person, regardless of whatever issues or challenges or obstacles that you face. If we don't validate our youth and don't, have them thinking that they are misunderstood. Okay, because they are really a victim of their circumstance, not that they were, they didn't deserve that.
Right.
They just had to be part of it, but there are ways out, and really allowing someone to really help you and step into that circle of courage, I think is so important, that people have your back. And gaining that trust. So I think that's really important. Nala, so in terms of where you are today and you're looking for your father and so forth, what is it that you could say as a fatherless daughter okay, to other girls out there?
What I can say to those girls that don't have a father, keep your head up. There's someone out there that has faith in you and hope and know that you can make it through whatever, anything that you believe in and in your dreams. And you become more of a positive person. Just because your father's not there, don't think that you can't make it. You can.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we have Ronald, who is actually a staff person with Youth Build. But Ronald, you also have a story as well.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I too grew up without a father, and I sought this validation from the streets. Growing up without a father was difficult, not only for myself but my family unit. So as a young man, I went out into the streets and I found validation through older gentlemen who was doing the wrong things, and I ended up incarcerated for many, many years. And actually left my daughter, so I perpetuated the cycle of leaving children behind. Fortunately for me, after my incarceration, my daughters welcomed me home with open arms, and they are a significant part of my life because they seen the changes that I have went through, the transformation I have made while I was incarcerated. I earned 2 degrees, and I'm a published author. And I speak about the issues that we face as men growing up without a father, how we turn to gangs, how we turn to violence, how we look for validation in all the wrong places. But moreover, upon my coming home and doing the right thing, Youth Build Long Island, United Way, gave me a chance to teach young people about some of my experiences. And it's remarkable how the universe, how God works in my life. He gave me a chance now to have 30 to 40 sons and daughters to guide, to teach, to show them that they are worthy and that they are important. And a lot of our students, they grow up without fathers. They face many issues. But one thing that I could say about them, that they have the strength, the perseverance, and they have the dream and the hope to move on.
Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you for sharing, and I think those stories are quite riveting and powerful, moving, and we want to continue to help others and to live the dream, allow them to dream. So thank you. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Could switching to...
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy it.
You're watching MadhouseTV.com. Welcome back. I'm here with Mike Dean, author of What If I Had a Father?
Yes.
And so we just left off before break. We talked to a couple of youth and staff person from Youth Builds who shared their experience as a fatherless son and daughter.
Right.
And how we come back to the same place. Validation, someone believing in you, and being able to be there consistently.
Right.
All right. And standing in that circle of courage as a person that is searching and seeking.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a special chapter in your book called My Superhero.
Right. It's a section in the first chapter.
Right. So what is that? Talk to me. What is that section?
Well, my superheroes in the first chapter of the book. In fact, like I was sharing with you, it's the first piece I wrote to the book, and the gist of it is having that person to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And so those were, that's where a lot of the questions came from. Was wanting that person I can make into this giant nobody can be. Hey, I get my dad, my dad can pick up a car, my dad can throw farther than John Elway, so it came from that. So,
So you had this imagination, like many kids do. My dad can do this, and my dad is bigger than you, and
Right.
all of
Yeah.
these things. But it was enough to put it in a section of your book. So,
Right.
how does that make it so when others are reading it? That particular section, My Superhero.
When people read this section, it's really going to hit home for a lot of people, for the simple fact that when your father isn't there, you wonder, you place something there. I mean, it's a question mark, but you place attributes. So that's where the what if is. It's the attributes of what I think should have been, or what I feel should have been. That doesn't necessarily meant that would have been the reality if he was there. But since you wasn't there, I had to create an image
Right.
in my mind.
Of what you thought it would be.
Right.
Today, you said you know your father, or you have a relationship with your dad?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a relationship with my father. I met him about 12, 13 years ago. 5-10 minute conversation. And that was it. No phone conversations, no nothing after that. So, and to this day, we still haven't. I think I wrote him a letter because he was in prison and never got a response. So I told him how I felt about things, but he never responded.
Was that letter any way for you to unleash? Was it therapeutic in a way for you to unleash some of your feelings of loneliness or that question mark, or was that helpful for you?
Oh yeah, it was plenty helpful. My goal wasn't so much to tear him down. It was saying, man, we still got time. You know, we still got time, and it's still for some reason. I'm almost 40 years old. In about 3 years, I'll be 40. But for some reason, there's still a place in my heart that's just blocked out for him.
Right. Right. So it doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away. There's always that wondering, that image, those ideas, those thoughts, those descriptions.
Right.
It never goes away. For people who are listening, who have those same feelings of emptiness, okay, what is it that you can say to them? As you know, you're a pastor, you've written a book,
Right.
okay, you're a father, not only of one child, right?
Right. I have 4 children.
Four children.
But I'm raising 5.
Okay.
I have 4 children.
Right.
I'm raising 5.
Right, so you have 5 children. For those who still feel that emptiness, and if we can cause a distraction, so to speak, a derailment of our young youth, our young people who feel that same emptiness, as we heard from our young folks here, how they were connected to, gang activity or whatever, other people, the streets. What is it that we can offer them?
Well, I mean, we're all too familiar with the quote Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see. But then Adolf Hitler said something that got just it made me happy a little bit, but it hit me. He said, what luck for rulers that men don't think.
Say that again.
What's luck for rulers that men don't think. And so for me, you have to do something. You have to be there. If you have children, you have to be engaging. You have to show them love. You have to go to their parent-teachers conferences, recitals. In fact, last year, I had 3 kids playing basketball all at the same time on 2 different teams. I said that they asked me, the YMCA said, hey, do you want to be a volunteer coach? I said, the only way I'm a coach if I coach both of my kids' teams. And I was coaching 2 teams. So I'm managing a church, I'm managing my marriage, I'm managing all these other things. But I said, I got to do this for my kids. I mean, I was on the court blocking kids' shots. I mean, it was really funny, real fun watching my kids, and they will never forget that.
Of course.
I mean, even before I left, me and my kids had to play the good game of Simon Says. Never played that with my dad. And he never helped me tie my shoe. He never fixed my pop chain. What my first words should have been Dada, but it wasn't.
Wow. So, as you said, it still leaves a sense of emptiness, and what you're sharing now in terms of, a father who should have been there to, when your chain broke or at your games and things of that nature. What's your next move at this point? Where are you going with this? Because it's something that, okay, you wrote the book, and you have your radio show, you're a pastor of your church. Where do you go with this?
Honestly, it's a movement. It's a movement of young men and women from all walks of life that grew up without fathers that are tired. And there has to be a point where we're able to heal from it, but we're able to forgive. I mean, because that's how we're going to bridge the gap, because I think some fathers are so far removed that they may think that they can't come back.
Right. It's been
right.
so long.
So the next move is I'm writing another book now that's talking about the nuggets of reconnection and connecting with siblings. So since I want to say about 2003, 2000, I met probably about 6, 7 siblings, and so I'm getting to have relationships with watching nephews and nieces grow up now. Although him and I don't have a relationship, I have a relationship with other siblings that eventually I believe he'll come around, because something's gonna happen where we're all gonna be in the same room and we're gonna have to talk.
I was just going to ask you, do you see yourself having a relationship with him? When we talk about forgiveness, all right, forgiveness is heavy, okay? And so, and a lot of times that helps us to move on. But do you see yourself having a relationship with your father?
I'm gonna say this, and I say this on my radio show. There's a love in my heart for him, and in fact, he's all I got as a parent. I don't have any grandparents. My mother is not alive. I need him to help to affirm me,
To validate
to
you.
validate me, so that my kids can grow up with their cousins. I went to school with first cousins and didn't even know.
Just go back for a minute. You said you need him to validate you
Yes.
as a man
As
or
his son.
a son. Okay.
I don't need
That's
you to
right.
validate. I'm a man.
Okay, got it.
I need to hear son. Never heard that. I need to hear you call me
That's
son.
why I wanted you to straighten that out.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that? And so, if you don't get that, where does that leave you?
I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
That doesn't make me less than a man. That doesn't make me less than a person. That doesn't make me unsuccessful. That would be his loss, not mine.
Okay.
Because I'm open for it.
Okay. That's what I want you to put out there.
Now I ain't gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bring him around my kids on the first date. I gotta see where his mind is. I gotta see where his heart is. But
of course.
you know, and we may need to get some counseling together.
Of course. Right. I clearly understand you.
Okay.
I just wanted you to be able to share that, because so many people go through that. I was reading some statistics, 24 million, okay, throughout this country, United States, fatherless sons and daughters. That's a lot. That is a lot of people. So you talked about, there's an emptiness that's still there. And while some of people have healed,
Right.
there's an emptiness. But there's still a lot of percentage of youth, as we know and we hear, that are in the streets, that are crying for help. Or because they didn't have son.
Right.
Come here. Daughter. We tuck you in. You know what I mean? So there is a movement that goes on. And I have a Facebook page, a Fatherless Sons and Daughter Network Group. Now, I grew up with my father. So I'm listening to the story and I'm thinking, how is that? Like, I don't know what it's like not to have a father. But it is important, having worked in the system, child welfare, that this is all you see. Where's daddy?
But can you imagine yourself without your dad? Can you imagine yourself growing up without him? That's my question to those that grew up with their fathers.
No. And so this is why I do what I do, to create the movement,
Right.
to empower, to inspire, to open up the airways, to let people hear there are successes through all of this. And as we talk to the youth from Youthbuild and staff, how they have found a place, a peace, but still, I don't have to be in the street. I don't have to do these things. I don't have to sit in loneliness. We have a whole bunch of youth now that, suicide, all of these things that are epidemics that are hurting and killing out a population. So I wanted you to be able to share your deepest inner thoughts and feelings in regards to where does that leave you, so that there is something you can share to people who are watching, listening, etc. That, hey, I still have this, but I'm going on. I'm still in the circle of courage, because I know many people have my back on this.
I'm able to talk about it now.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
like especially men. Men, we
Yes.
mask our pain.
Right.
We don't talk about what really hurts us, the things that we're really dealing with, that we're struggling with. And so for me to talk about it, to write about it,
Right.
it's freeing me. So it's almost like a tea kettle, or you got the water on, and it's, the steam is ready to just explode. Well, if you don't open that lid, then the steam won't have a way to release.
Right.
And so you're gonna keep hearing the whistling. So that's what I feel. I have opportunities through mentors. God,
Yes.
right? I mean, for me, I'm a pastor. God, I'm able to say, God, it's me. Help me, lead me. And I feel like it's part of my purpose to help kind of be almost like a Pit Piper or Moses, if you will, to help pull people out of this negative energy and to help reunite families.
Right. And I'm right along with you because I have spearheading my Young Confidence Builder mentoring program basically on the same heels of what you're talking about. Because it's so very much needed. Our youth are so vulnerable right now that it's so necessary to be able to have people to come forth to say that I believe in you, I validate you, and so forth. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my website, ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia. And it really does make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you could follow us on ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. Once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Please. Thank you.
Welcome back. We've been talking and having a very amazing and powerful and important conversation with Mike Dean and some youth that are here with us. And so I just want to go back to our youth and give some final thoughts on. You've been listening, you've been sharing. What can you say?
I would say a message to the youth. Don't be bitter. Don't. Put your pride, put your ego to the side. If your father's trying to come back in your life, let him in. You know, and if you are a father, be there for your kids. How could you not? You know, as far as getting your life together, be persistent. You know what you want to do and do it. Figure it out. You know, I try not to be bitter. Of course, there was always a piece that was missing, you know, but I move forward. That's what I do. And I just do what I got to do to get where I'm trying to be.
Thank you. Nala?
For all those that don't have a father in their life or not, if he's willing to come back, accept him for what he is, even if he's haven't been there. For me, even though my father hasn't been there, and if he, possibly comes back into my life, I would accept him for what he has, even if he hasn't been there for my birthday or for my satisfactory with grades or anything like that. But just, even if he doesn't, just keep your head up, keep doing what you have to do, finish school, get your career straight, and focus on the positive, not the negative, and you'll achieve the things you want and treat yourself the way you want to be treated.
Wow.
Yes, like our student said, I think they both were trying to encompass the power of forgiveness. Fathers, before they were fathers, they were men who had their own share of issues. And not to give them an excuse, but I think young people need to use the power of forgiveness, not to excuse the behavior, but in order to move on, move forward. And I would like to say, if your father doesn't come back in your life, there's a lot of people out there who do care. Youth Build is an organization that do care. Look them up, look for your neighbor. There's a lot of role models out there that we can look up to, that can guide us. There's a lot of men out there, there's a lot of good men out there, despite the fact there are some that leave their children.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Mike, final thoughts, words?
It's this last little section in my book. I said how you treat yourself will conclusively determine the quality of your existence too. It's your life and you have to take full advantage of your gifts. You have the choice to be present, relevant, and important in your children's lives. You're not an afterthought, and neither are they. Your children want you. They need you today, now. Daddy, it's been rough without you, your child will say, but I love you. And Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And so if you want more information about my book, go to deanbooks.com, D-E-A-N books.com. My radio station is broadcasted live at holyhillsradio.com, holyhillsradio.com. It's called Holla at Me with Mike Dean on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
Okay, thank you. I would have to say that there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes, ma'am.
There's still a lot of work to be done, and it's necessary for us to not give up the dream.
Right.
Okay? Not to give up the dream, to continue to push forward, that with Femi and Nala and Ronald are living human beings that have experienced and are sitting here very proud, okay, that they have been able to overcome some odds. But yet, not 100%, but it is better than it was, way better than it was.
Right.
And so this is what it's all about. It is about that empowerment piece. It's the motivational piece. It's, and I will continue to say, standing in that circle of courage. And in that circle of courage is who you define as who's going to have your back no matter what. Because we will make mistakes as we continue to move through the process. But in that circle of courage, there are people who will have your back, regardless. And those are the people whom you will trust and believe in. So I want to say this has been a great show. It is Jacqueline Harris season finale show of I Have a Dream 2 here with MadhouseTV.com. And you can view the shows and all of my shows through MadhouseTV.com. But this is my season finale show. And I want to say that it has been an excellent opportunity, an excellent experience to be able to share my dream. And my dream, I'm still evolving with my dream. The dream will still go on. But right now, it's time for me to, make some shifts, etc., as we all have to do sometimes, because there are certain challenges or obstacles that we get faced with. But it's don't let go.
Yes.
Don't give up.
Yes.
And so it's important to continue to follow me on Facebook under Jacqueline Harris. Also on my fan page, I Have a Dream 2. You can also email me at IHaveADream2, that's TOO 2000, 2013 at gmail.com. And if you want to reach out to me as well, it's area code 516-945-9390. So I want to say thank you. Coming all the way from Ohio.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, today for the show and sharing your story. I also want to thank my guests here, my youth and youth workers, for coming in and sharing the story. I think that, feel blessed.
You built Long Island changed my life.
Youth Build, okay? Feel blessed by Youth Build changed your life, okay? And it's continuing to change others. So I think that that's real important, and I'll definitely reach out to them for continued information and communication. So anything final, one word.
Fathers, come back. Come back, you can do it.
Right. And so we can just basically close it off too, as I said earlier, it's, even if you don't, hey, Dad, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. Without you. I still did it, So, this has been a great show. You'll be hearing again from Jacqueline Harris. And it's been a great evening. And have a good night.